How's it going, everybody? My name is Holley, and welcome back to another episode of the Pride Report. Once again, I'm joined alongside by Sean Bock. How's it going, Sean?
No, it's going well, my man. Got a lot of college basketball on to watch today. A lot of good mid-major games. We just watched Iona beat Fairfield for the ACC Championship, which was a good game. And then there's a couple games going on right now that I'm excited to break down and watch. But right now we're going to talk about the ACC Tournament. I think it's going to be a really fun couple days. So let's get to it. I'm ready to go.
As am I. Yeah, welcome in, everybody, to the first of 5 Special Champ Week episodes that the two of us will be recording. This is the ACC Tournament episode. Now, here's how these episodes are going to work. First, we're going to take a look at the bracket. Then we're going to talk about the biggest storylines, break the tournament down from a bracketology standpoint, each share our dark horse, and each pick a winner. Timestamps will be in the description below if you want to check out a singular segment. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's take a look at the ACC Tournament bracket. It is always an action-packed event, and this year will be no exception. The favorite looks to be Virginia. The Cavaliers are the first ACC team in history to win 17 regular season games. Then we have Duke, the defending ACC Tournament champions. Don't get me wrong, this is an incredibly deep league, but I would be very surprised if the winner is not one of those two teams. UNC is in the mix as well, but they missed out on the double bye, meaning that if the Heels are to win, they would need to win 4 games in 4 days like the Blue Devils did a year ago, which is no easy task by any means. We'll get back to the bracket eventually, but for now, let's get to you, Sean. What are some of the biggest ACC tournament storylines this year?
Well, first I'm going to start off by asking the question, who has the best chance to take down Virginia and or Duke? So obviously, like we talked about, Duke and Virginia, the top 2 seeds in this tournament. I'm going to take the easy way out of it. I think number 3, North Carolina, has the most reasonable shot out of all the other teams in the conference. Yeah, they're on a 2-game losing streak, but I think they're the most qualified team personnel-wise to knock out the 2 leaders. I love this starting 5 of Kenny Williams, Joel Berry, Cameron Johnson, Theo Pinter, and Luke May, and think there's enough talent and experience among them to compete for the crown. That said, I love those 5 guys, but the problem with them is the depth. In the loss against Duke, only one Tar Heel off the bench played more than 6 minutes, which was Garrison Brooks. And the big strength for the Tar Heels has been their offensive rebounding, which they rank 2nd in the country per KenPom. And their offense has also been stellar, 4th in the country. But going back to the depth, in a tournament like this, there's definitely a fatigue factor. And while I was preparing for this podcast today, the question kind of ran through my head. Do you think, Noah, that UNC will not give it their all during this tournament so they have energy for the NCAA tournament? I mean, I highly doubt that, but it never hurts to ask the question because the ACC tournament, yes, it means something. Yes, it's bragging rights among all the other teams in your conference, but there comes to a point where it's like, okay, what's our realistic goal? Do we want to be at our peak for the NCAA tournament? Do we want to exert all our energy in the conference tournament and not reach our goal of winning the whole national title? So, I mean, definitely depth and fatigue is going to be something to look out for this team. I think there's the talent up front with the 5 starting lineups, with the starting lineup, but my word for them is just their depth. And I know Roy Williams, he's been there before, but I can't remember a time where their team has really been so thin on the bench. So it'll definitely be a storyline to look out for. I think they're going to find a way to overcome it. I don't think it'll be a huge problem, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on. All right, so transitioning to the next storyline, will Pittsburgh go defeated against ACC opponents? And my answer is yes. In the first round, they match up with Notre Dame, and Pittsburgh's just been absolutely terrible this year. Their KenPom is literally the color red, and it's kind of upsetting to see the downward spiral this program has taken after they were so good a couple years back. I mean, I've been hearing rumors that Kevin Stallings is out of a job at the conclusion of their first round loss to the ACC tournament, and it wouldn't surprise me one bit. If you want to coach at a school like Pitt, you have to show at least some promise in your first couple years. The program is falling fast, and they need someone other than Stallings to pick up the pieces. So if Pitt can get a win in the first round, maybe that'll save Kevin Stallings' job. I highly doubt it, but it would just be upsetting to see a team like Pittsburgh go 0-19 overall in ACC play. All right, next up, according to KenPom, only 5 teams have better than a 3% chance to win the tournament. Any possibility a team outside that can make a run? The 5 teams that have a higher than 3% chance are Virginia, Duke, North Carolina, Clemson, Miami, and 2 of the teams that we're going to talk later on in the show about a couple teams that can maybe make a run outside that 5. So I'm just going to introduce them now. I think the 2 teams that have the greatest chance are Virginia Tech and Notre Dame.
All right, now let's get into some bracketology talk. As of now, I see 11 ACC teams with a chance to qualify for an at-large bid. There is work to be done for a lot of those teams. For example, if Louisville loses to Florida State, that is likely it for their tournament hopes, and Notre Dame needs to beat Pitt and Virginia Tech before joining the NCAA tournament discussion. We also have Syracuse, who must win 2 rounds as well. Luckily for the Orange, they have a great opportunity to pick up a signature win against UNC in the second round. Here's a look at the ACC representation in my Monday bracket projections. Virginia and Duke are both on the top line with North Carolina as a 2 seed. Virginia has locked up a 1 seed and possibly the number 1 overall seed as well, while Duke has the slight edge over Kansas for the last top seed. North Carolina remains in the 1 seed conversation as well, but they don't control their own destiny by any means. Behind the Tar Heels is Clemson, who played poorly down the stretch in conference play. Then we have Miami and Virginia Tech both on the 7 line. The Hurricanes are a very dangerous team at the moment. They've picked up 4 in a row to move completely off the bubble. And finally, NC State and Florida State both sit on the 8 line. Both teams have picked up numerous big wins in conference play to make up for an underwhelming out-of-conference slate. NC State in particular has done a great job picking up wins over Duke, North Carolina, and Clemson. The Wolfpack have a good chance at a semifinal berth in the ACC tournament, as the matchup with Clemson seems very winnable considering the Tigers' recent struggles. Florida State, on the other hand, does not have a good chance at a semifinal berth, as they must fend off a Louisville team fighting for their NCAA tournament lives, as well as beat Virginia. If you want to check out my bracketology in its full form, a link will be in the description below. I'm going to be updating it all week long, so be sure to stay tuned. But now, let's get to the predictions. We've each picked a dark horse and a projected champion. Let's start with you, Sean. Who is your ACC tournament dark horse this year?
My dark horse for this year's ACC tournament has to be Virginia Tech. They've been up and down throughout the ACC, but are one of the best offensive teams in the conference. They don't really have any headliners, but they have a balanced attack of 5 guys who are averaging at least 10.6 points per game and can hurt you on any given night. Buzz Williams is going to have his team ready to go. I just like them as a dark horse because you don't really know what you're going to get with these guys.
Yeah.
When they get going, they're a really tough team to stop, but if they start to lack a little bit, then they struggle. And either you'll get a crazy good offensive outing or just a sluggish performance. That said, I think this team has the pieces to make a run. It's just a matter of whether they can put it all together and peak at the right time. Defense is going to be an issue for them. They're not very good defending the 3-point line. They're a sub-100 team, and then 2s as well. They have Justin Robinson kind of falls in the trap of turning the ball over a little bit. He's one of the best players, but if he doesn't have control of the game and making silly mistakes like he did against the loss against Miami when he had 6 turnovers, then this team's going to be in trouble. But I think a balanced attack from them is going to be a problem for opponents. Defenses especially really have an issue with guys with a team that doesn't have one standout player, but just a bunch of guys who know how to play together and can really make something happen. So Virginia Tech, they have a tough road. Notre Dame, a potential matchup with Notre Dame is going to be a really intriguing matchup. So we'll see what these guys can do.
Mine is Virginia Tech as well, actually. The Hokies have stepped up against the best of the best in the ACC all year long. They were the only ACC team to beat Virginia, stunning the Cavaliers on the road. They knocked off Duke just last week. They beat North Carolina a little bit earlier in the season. They beat Clemson 2 weeks ago. Virginia Tech has proven that they are capable of beating virtually anyone in this bracket when they can get hot from the field, like you said, Sean. With that being said, you cannot trust the Hokies. Another point that you made, they have been plagued by inconsistency all season long, so the likelihood of them stringing 4 wins together against elite competition is not high. But this is a very dangerous team and one that should not be taken lightly. Now, as for the champion, Sean, we'll start with you. Who do you see winning this season's ACC tournament?
I hate to pick the favorites, but I gotta go with the number 1 Virginia Cavaliers. The backcourt duo of Kyle Guy and Ty Jerome was one of the best in the nation, no doubt. DeAndre Hunter has been fantastic. The Cavaliers are the best defensive team in the nation per Ken Palm, so you know they're going to bring it on the defensive end even if their offensive game isn't there. Tony Bennett's a proven winner with a team that can make a deep run this year. And the potential championship battle with Duke will probably be one of the best conference titles in recent memory. And in the end, I think they find a way to come out top and secure that number 1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament.
All right, I'm going to have to take off my Virginia hat for this one. I'm going to have to go with Duke. It is incredibly hard to bet against Virginia after the season that they have had, but I'm just going to have to go with the Blue Devils for this one. This is unquestionably the most talented team in the country, and they're starting to round into Final Four form. It is always tough to get a lineup consisting of mostly 5-star freshmen to play well together, but Coach K has his bunch ready to go like he always does. If Duke can avoid the rookie moments that plagued them early in the year and continue to play to their potential, I honestly do not see anyone stopping them in the ACC tournament, and yes, that includes Virginia. The Hoos have the defense to keep Duke in check for the most part, but even Virginia cannot contain Marvin Bagley. If the rest of the Blue Devils can step up behind Bagley in the tournament, I believe that Duke will win a second straight ACC championship. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this show. Thank you so much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Sean, thank you for stopping by.
Yep, no, thanks for having me on.
All right, it was a great time. Like I said earlier in this show, we have other conference tournament previews on the way or already here. Link in the description. We'll see you there.